Wildbrain is a company that does primarily animation for advertising, film, and the web. Pretty much everything under the sun in terms of mixing stop motion with traditional and CG. Maya helps us in our production pipeline in the sense that the tools are very flexible.
Little Hershey's Kisses with almonds. Big chocolate taste.
The nice thing about Maya is that it allows us to scale with the productions. So we have really short, tight commercial work, and then we have long-form things like film and feature production.
My favorite, everlasting gobstoppers. They're made from layers and layers and layers and layers of flavors.
A good example of commercials where we're using Maya because of the flexibility in particular is probably Willy Wonka for Nestle, where we did a long series of productions where we're using Maya to get around certain specific problems.
Each chewy piece is exactly 50% Laffy and 50% Taffy. Or is it the other way around?
In the past, we'd be restricted with the type of animation we could do, and it was difficult to merge elements. But Maya allows us to bring in, a variety of different elements from the 2D side and the 3D side, and you're not locked down.
Recently, we've been learning a lot more about film as we've started a project that's going to probably go on throughout the course of the year, and will end up being about a 10 to 15-minute short film. Vanilla Pudding is about a raunchy little girl who's sort of a mix between Calvin and Hobbes and sort of has atypical vulgarities like Ren and Stimpy, so she exhibits a lot of alpha energy, and she's just one of many characters that are sort of all on the same level of weirdness. The goal was to create something that would mix the best of both worlds, being 2D and 3D. When thinking about trying to put together sort of a template for how a show would be made, I was hoping to get everything accomplished in one package, and so far, even though it's not completely done yet, everything's worked out. So I built the characters in Maya, I set up all the facial shapes in Maya, I was able to do riggings and models for characters, texture paint, was able to move between Studio Paint and Maya, and now I'm doing final elements through Composer for post. I was happy to find, because I've done this before in other like Alias and earlier packages, that in Maya they've really done a good job of putting together the blend shape editors, and in combination with the Artisan Sculpt tool made that task so much easier to the point where I could put together the heads for 4 characters in about 2 weeks. One thing that's particularly important to me is the ability to kind of move linearly, the same way I would draw or paint, and that hasn't always been the case in working in CG, but it's just now kind of like getting over the crest, and tools like IPR and a lot of the shading tools, a lot of the interactive lighting tools, being able to drag a light from your outliner into a view and be able to manipulate it, move it around, and see in your camera view what that light is actually doing in real time is huge.
The nice thing about working with Alias Wavefront is that they are very, very responsive to the needs of the TDs, especially here at Wildbrain, where we've got large productions and small productions, and sometimes you run into problems that you can't solve in-house, and they're there to provide kind of, hands-on, here's how you can work through a certain problem sort of support, and it's gotten us through some really tough spots.
Maya is important to the success of a company like Wildbrain, being a smaller company, because it's a flexible tool that's robust and intuitive, in the sense that we can easily segue people in and out of the workflow, and it enables us to kind of get the extra mile as we're oftentimes cramped. I can speak for ads. Deadlines are always there, and the less hassles you have to deal with, the better chance you have of meeting your deadlines, and if you meet them early, you can spend more time making things look beautiful.